All right, listen, man. I know I have not posted in a month, but school has really not been my friend, and I've been really busy with work as well. So it's really messed up my time to, make videos. But I'm going to try to get back on track. I do have a video on the Clippers coming up pretty soon. That video is a work in progress right now. Again, the uploads have been slower because of the fact that, I've been just busy with life and school and everything else in between. But now, thanks to the Philadelphia 76ers and their current drama, as well as the drama surrounding Ben Simmons, I think I may have something to talk about. So with this particular video, I'm going to be doing it similar to what I did with series recap. Now, this is not going to be in the series recap, obviously, because the series recap is only meant for the NBA playoffs. That, what y'all see from what I did with the play-in tournament to Game 6 of the finals, that was basically season 1 of series recap. But we'll get to that some other time. Now, on to Ben Simmons. So why am I talking about this walking L that you see on my screen? Well, as everybody should know, Ben Simmons made it clear that he wants out of Philadelphia, and he made it abundantly clear that he did not want to show up for training camp, nor show up for media day, nor show up for games. I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. Which is all fine and good. I get it. Ben Simmons wants a change of scenery, and he wants to be on a team where he feels like he can be the guy, because Philly made it clear that they would rather build around Joel Embiid, considering the Ben Simmons-Joel Embiid experiment did not work, as pointed out in my Philadelphia 76ers vid that I posted last month. But, as Shannon Sharp pointed out, I was hoping that he would remain professional about it. He would just go into training camp and do his thing and just make sure that, look, even though I want to be traded, I will do things to boost my trade value, and I will play in the games. I will try to be there for my teammates as much as I can, and I'll try to remain a class act and whatever have you. Similar to the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers and his situation with Green Bay, because he made it clear that he wants out of Green Bay, and his first game where Green Bay scored 3 points, everyone was pointing at Aaron Rodgers and how he played really, really poorly. But even he made it clear that it's just one game. We're going to get better as the season progresses. And again, Aaron Rodgers knows he wants to be traded, but he's going to still do things to not only help the team win, but boost his trade value as well. The same thing happened with James Harden earlier this year. He made it clear that he wanted out of Houston after multiple experiments between Jeremy Lin, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, and a bunch of shooters around him. And James Harden made it clear that he wanted out, because he basically said, listen, man, we just ain't good enough to make the playoffs, compete for a top spot in the playoffs, but most importantly, win a championship. He was able to admit that. But I will agree that Harden was just as unprofessional. Like, he was going to strip clubs with Lil Baby. He was violating every COVID protocol, and he basically showed up to training camp out of shape. The thing is, James Harden still played in the games that he played, and he basically showed that, look, I want to get traded, but I will still play for this team as long as I need to. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, is acting like a petulant child, because a recent report by Shams says that 76ers players, I'm guessing it's just like Tobias, Joel Embiid, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tyrese Maxey, basically the whole 76ers roster, including Doc Rivers, who I will get to him in a minute. He said, the report by Shams said, Ben Simmons told 76ers players he didn't want to meet with them after they planned to fly to LA to try to convince him to commit for this upcoming season. He basically cut off contact with all the 76er players. And I think after their loss against Atlanta in the second round, I think he cut contact with Joel Embiid as well, and he didn't return any of his texts. You know what I mean? So Ben Simmons is really acting like a child that didn't get his way. And just a couple weeks ago, Tom Moore reported that the 76ers will demand that Ben Simmons suits up this season and plan to fire him repeatedly until he shows up. Beginning with training camp, they will hold out on a trade for as long as it takes to find a deal that they like. So basically, they want Ben Simmons to play to boost his trade value, but Ben Simmons does not want to boost his trade value because he thinks he's all that. Even though my guy passed up a wide open dunk against the Atlanta Hawks in a game 7 of the playoffs. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, let me talk about the whole situation with Doc Rivers. Now, I made it clear more often than not that as much as I respect Doc Rivers as a man and as a coach, he is really, really, really overrated. And these playoffs exposed him for the type of coach he truly has been since his 2008 championship with Boston. If his choke of a 3-1 lead when he had Paul George and Kawhi and Lou Williams on the LA Clippers wasn't proof enough, then this season sure as hell was. Especially since he was being so goddamn bipolar during the playoffs because in game 4 versus Washington, the reporters were asking that, yo man, do you think you want to take Ben Simmons out of the game because he's hurting y'all team more than he's helping them? And he's just like, why the hell would I do that? All right. Let me know if you want me to take Ben Simmons out of the game. So that way I know y'all don't know basketball. And then around 2 weeks to 3 weeks later, after their loss against Atlanta, he said, a reporter asked him, yo, man, can you win with Ben Simmons as your point guard? And he says, well, I don't know, man. I don't know, bruh. I don't know the answer to that question. And then 3 months later after that, he was on an interview with Stephen A. Smith explaining that, oh, no, I was misinterpreted. This is the hardest part about my job. I'm just like, bro, you are the one that said that. A lot of people saw your body language, saw your facial expressions, and you knew deep down you wanted to say no. And I get it. You did not want to throw Ben Simmons under the bus. But I made it clear I think in my Sixer vid and series recap or in my timeline vid. That is something you do not say, especially when it comes to really bad losses like the one y'all just had, Doc. What the hell are you talking about that we misinterpreted it? And then Ben Simmons later on in training camp, he was spotted practicing with shorts and he had a phone in his pocket. And obviously you heard from, I hope some of y'all that are watching this have heard it from other outlets, other YouTubers saying how unprofessional it is. It's not a good look on him. I'm not going to reiterate their points because obviously that is pretty disrespectful to the team. And he wasn't even engaged with the team too. I think in the middle of practice, like Buddy simply walked out. And then Doc Rivers. Now here's where Doc actually gained respect of me, and I hope a lot of NBA fans too, where I think Ben Simmons was supposed to do a defensive drill, and I think Doc asked him to do something, and he was like, no, and he kind of dragged it on, and I think Doc said something like, all right, bro, you could leave. You ain't gonna do the shit I asked you to say to do, and hey, you could leave. And I think Ben Simmons up and left there. So, yeah, Ben Simmons is acting like a buffoon. And I don't want to, like, character assassinate him, but Ben Simmons, this is just unprofessional, man. Like, think about it, y'all. Like, all of this could have been avoided if he just dunked the ball in that game 7. You know what I'm saying? And now it's looking dire and dire for Philly. Now Daryl Morey is like saying, oh, this might take 4 years to get a deal. And now I just got an update saying that they're going to trade him as soon as December rolls around. And I'm just like, bro, this situation is getting worse and worse for this dude, man. Like, oh my goodness. And now they're currently playing against Oklahoma City. And by the time I upload this video, they'll more than likely be finished with that game. They're currently leading by 6 last time I checked. And now, on the other hand, they had a really bad loss against the Brooklyn Nets. And it was a really bad loss because they led by 11 in the fourth quarter. And then they blew it to James Harden and Kevin Durant. And then they had a pretty good win against the Pelicans. But the Pelicans are the Pelicans. So, any win against that team, I guess, is a win. Not good, not bad, just a win. I mean, y'all get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this situation is getting out of hand, man. And now I guess Ben Simmons says he's not mentally ready to play, and he did come out and apologize to the team about, hey guys, I handled my business unprofessionally, or at least sources did say that, and he's not mentally ready. Which the not being mentally ready part, as well as the back injury, I do not believe at all. But because I do think it's kind of like a facade and an excuse to not play, which again, it's not helping his value at all. But I don't know, man. I think the title of this video suggests, you know, everything in and of itself. The situation is just getting out of control, and it's not going to get better. And I think the only way it gets better is if they just trade him, which is what they're going to do. But I don't know. Philly's a mess right now, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to give my quick take on it. It's not like a 20-minute video like it was with my previous series recaps. Like, I think I averaged like 20 minutes per video because it was just me rambling, and I guess I'm doing the same thing here. But yeah, again, sorry for the inconsistent uploads. I have been really busy as of late, but I'm slowly starting to get back on track, especially now that I got all my midterms over with. But you guys don't need a life update. You're just here to listen to me talk about basketball, if that makes sense. I did not say that. Well, whatever, man. But yeah, new video coming up soon. I hope it doesn't take 2 months. That's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.